What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 4 different Grayscale trusts today. We're going to be going over ETHE and ETCG for Flower Child, LTCN and BCHG for BB or Bye Bye. Yeah, and that's what we got. I do kind of want to instill an idea that I talk about these trusts a lot. Haven't talked about ETHE or ETCG in a little while, so this might be an exception, but maybe we don't need to talk about them every single day, especially on the weekends. Weekdays, I get it, but like from Saturday and Sunday, the markets are closed. I made videos on Friday, right? I even made video on Saturday. It's Monday now. It's a holiday day. It was President's Day today, so the markets were closed today as well. There's probably no real need to do analysis on BCHG and LTCN because I've already done it, but we're going to do it again. It's okay. ETHE is what we're going to talk about real quick. So started off ETHE, ETCG, then finish it up with BCHG and LTCN. Looking good. Looking good, sure. You're looking bullish, looking like you want to move higher, sure. Yes. $29. $29 to $36. Yeah. Looking good. Looking really good. Looks like you want to move up. Yes. Yes, indeed. Any lower prices that I had in mind for this thing are out the window, man. It looks good. Looks like it wants to move up higher. That's that. ETCG. Also looking good, consolidating above the green line like this. I really do like that. Cooling off the RSI. Ooh. I find it very strange that you didn't see your 382. I guess there you did. Let's look at this. Oh, right. I'll be right back, you guys. I have to go do something real quick. Real quick. Yeah, that looks pretty good, man. I think this does want to go higher. I'm going to be right back. Enjoy the TV. Okay, all right. So, hold on now. All right. Yeah, it does look good. Not gonna lie. Looks pretty dang good. Any and all lower prices I had for this thing, I would also say might be relinquished as well. Looking at the daily, it's pretty neutral. It's hard to say. It's not bad. It's not good, though. If you want to see lower prices, you're going to want to close below here. You're going to want to get a day to close below $10.90, okay? If you want to look bullish, you're going to need a day to close above there. Close above $13.28. You're literally right in the middle of there. Literally right now. So, yeah, that's my opinion. Hard to say. With the climate of crypto right now, it wouldn't be surprising at all if this went up. But as correlated as these things are to their native cryptos, they're not 100% correlated. You could see the native crypto go up and the trusts go down. You can see the trust go down more while ETCG goes down a little bit or consolidates, whatever, right? So hard to say. My thoughts are we do break out to the upside, but it's possible we don't. It is possible we don't. So let's just see how this goes. Let's give it a little bit of time. Let's see how the week closes out. But these are your limits. $13.28 for the upside, $10.91 for the downside. A close above or below either would lead me to believe that we have further prices to pursue down or up. And that's ETCG. Let's talk about BCHG now. BCHG. This one is looking bearish in my opinion. And I did flip bullish recently on BCH if you guys saw my video. I don't think just because I flip bullish doesn't mean that I mean that we're going to turn up to $500, $600 soon. I mean, soon, yes, but we could very well, as we've been doing, we could continue to kind of consolidate for months, weeks. Not next week are we going to go up. We could, but this thing could be boring for a while. It's done that before, in the midst of a bull market, right? So in that time, BCHG could absolutely go down, right? BCHG right here, looking at it, it's a pretty bearish week. That is a pretty bearish week, man. Your RSI does look bearish. It kind of, I mean, it's in a stronger position being above the 50, but to me it does look like it wants to go lower. It doesn't look so productive, if that makes sense. Your price action looks productive, but that could change with a break of this kind of ascending trend line that you have here, which we might get next week. It is possible. Looking at the daily, I don't like the daily RSI. I do think it means the price wants to go lower. I want to see this relative fib, what we got here. Yeah, I do. I very much do. I very much believe we will see BCHG around $2.76 to $2.41, if not lower. And that's just based off that relative fib. If we take this right here, I mean, yeah, even more so, man. Let's see. What about this real quick? Yeah, I do. I'm very confident, you guys, that we see prices below here still. Very, very confident in that. If we take the kind of macro fib from this low to this high, I mean, your 382 is all the way down here at $1.78. Very much on the table. At least 270 in my opinion, but probably likely at least this like weekly closing high is what I would think, around like 240. Anywhere and everywhere in between, man. It's hard to say with how bullish crypto is right now. It is hard to say how far this thing comes down, but with the news of the private investors like coming in, the private placement sales, that could promote some selling off in this. Low liquidity maybe because all the liquidity is being brought into the private sales. We could see this thing get back to its NAV price, even be offered at a discount. That is possible as well. So with that, you might see this thing pull back more, but hard to say, not hard to say. I don't know. Someone said, you said, I don't know 10 times. So what are you even saying? You don't know. It's like, I don't know, man. And any YouTuber out there, technical analyst that pretends to know, they know where the price is going to go. I just say I don't know because I'm like looking at it and I'm scratching my head. I'm like, I don't know, man. It could do this, it could do that. I don't know, because I don't really know, and I have no problem admitting that. Someone tried to point it out, and like make fun of me for that, and I'm like, I don't know if they're trying to make fun of me or maybe they just thought it was funny. It was, maybe that's what they thought. But I mean, I guess it's funny, but maybe only if you're looking at it like I think of myself as some kind of guru who knows everything about crypto and where it's going to go. Nobody does. Anybody who knows where the price is going to go, stay away from them. That's my best opinion, in my opinion, because those people, even when they're wrong, they're going to act like they're right. I know a couple of those people, man, personally and through YouTube. I know some of those people, and I think, I respect the hustle, but some of them, they act like scammers too much, man. I very much try not to be. I try to be just like, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with being very honest and saying, I don't know where the price is going to go. None of this is me saying, I know it's going to go here. And I very much did say a second ago, I'm very confident we see prices below there. I am very confident. I don't know if we do. I don't know that, but I'm pretty confident that we do, right? So if I say I don't know, don't take that as like me having no idea what I'm talking about. I mean, maybe I don't. I don't know. But probably it's more likely just me talking out loud, talking to myself. Anyways, getting off on a tangent there. He seemed to, if I looked at his profile, and I don't know, man. I feel like his name and his appearance, he looked like he wasn't from like the United States of America, so that could be like a cultural difference implied. But maybe he just has a different name, but he is American. Maybe I'm being presumptuous. I don't know. But I feel like cultural differences can definitely, like when you learn a language, I don't know. It can be a thing. Anyways, man. All I'm trying to say, besides all this random stuff, is prices below these lows are very much on the table. Price is down to $1.80, $1.70, very much on the table still. Bitcoin Cash consolidates, BCHG can move down. Why? Because BCH has consolidated before and BCHG moved up. I mean, why can't it be the reverse, the same thing, right? Anyways, that's that. Let's talk about LTCN and wrap this bad boy up. Looking as well, kind of looking bearish. I know that crypto looks bullish right now, but LTC definitely could move down, man. It absolutely could move down. I don't like the daily RSI. It's not bad. I just don't like it. I don't like the price action. There's hope that it could go higher. You would need to, for me to be convinced, get a week to close above here. Close a week, not a day, close a week above 71.67. You close tomorrow above 71.67, I'm not impressed. Close a week above there. Then maybe we could talk about these prices that I'm talking about at $50 to $45 being off the table. But as of now, based off of how it looks to me, I very much do think we're going lower. Why do I think this? Here we go, right? So, look, and this is Litecoin. We'll get back to LTCN because this will kind of influence why I think LTCN is going lower. We take a weekly close right here on a low, found support there on a closing basis, found resistance here on a closing basis, support here on a wick, support here on a closing basis, resistance here on a closing basis. Okay, so we support, broke down below, found resistance on previous areas of support. Generally with this kind of structure, you see a move, you consolidate, and you move lower, right? The next area based off of price action to find support would be here, which we've already kind of done a multitude of times, if not the low close kind of around here, around $51. Maybe we don't go to $50. And I have said $50 is like the price target, but that's because I've said 55 to 45, right? That I believe I've said 55 to 45. Correct me if I'm wrong, but check my last videos if you haven't. Leave a like on it as well when you're checking. But man, I don't know. I think it wants to go lower. I do think it wants to go lower. Let's look at the daily here. Again, to prove me wrong on that, get a week, not a day. Get a week to close above. It wasn't that price, was it? I mean, maybe it should be. 71.67. Close a week above there. Not a day, but a week. Until then, I'm not convinced. Looks like you're rejecting an area on your RSI that you've rejected multiple times. You're not really respecting your 123 at all, which who cares, whatever that means. You are in some kind of consolidation range. And to me, your most what's the word I'm looking for? Predominant. The most dominant candles you have right now are the red ones. And I think the fact that you have lower highs coming in here, yes, you had lower lows here, but now you've got higher lows for a while. I think you're coming to the end of this kind of consolidation point, right? You can see it. It's like the tip of the iceberg. You're going to break out one way or another. So let's just look for that. It could happen this week. It could happen next week. But I very much do think that Litecoin is going to move lower in itself. Let's go back to LTCN. Assuming that Litecoin moves lower, and assuming, even without Litecoin, just looking at this chart, it does look bearish in itself. Probably because, again, LTCN with these private placement sales, with these PPs, these PP sales, they're PP, man. I got off track there. I would assume that there's going to be more liquidity, more interest in those. I say liquidity, more volume, more interest going into those PPs than there is on the open market right now as far as new money goes. Because most people that have gotten into this, at least the big money, they've probably already gotten into this. They've got their bags packed. If they're to add more, they're waiting for lower prices. But why wait for lower prices when you can just add in at NAV price when this thing is at a 2x premium already? So probably low volume. There's probably reasons for people to sell. They might not be as certain on LTCN. I do still very much think that LTCN is going to go up higher. Oh man, that's what I forgot to do. I'm gonna go through and give like all the cycle high predictions for all these at the end of the video. Okay, for anybody that's stuck around. I forgot to do that for you, Flower Child. I know you like that stuff, so hopefully you're still watching. But I do think looking like this, you close below your 382. I think at least to 1085 to 1029. You break below that 1085 area, Really, you break below 1030, you're probably going to go all the way down to 672, if not 522. Those are the kind of targets right now that I have in mind for LTCN. I very much do expect these targets, but there is hope. You could find support here. It's not common to break through here on the first pass and then find support here. It could happen as well, though. But if we do break through the 618 on the first pass, we don't get support in this area. You know, you could find support, come up here, and then reject still, right? So if we don't get support in this area and we just bleed through straight away, likely you will see these targets. And already, in my opinion, I do think we're going to see something between 672 to 522. There is the possibility for price to go below $5. That doesn't mean this thing's wrecked if it happens, but definitely we're at a premium now. I think it'll see NAV prices, if not a discount, before it's all said and done. But let's go over cycle highs predictions. We'll start off in the same order that we began this video with: ETHE, ETCG, BCHG, then LTCN. Looking at this on a monthly basis, not a whole lot to go off of, is there? I'm going to use this high. I'm going to use that high and then this low. $90 to $199. You're at $23 now. You could see a deeper extension, maybe at $916 for ETHE. We'll see. You know, anything. It's really hard to say. I know that that's a very big difference in numbers, but anything from 90 to 900, man, it's a pretty big difference. But that's the number I got for you. Yeah, hard to say. With probably a more prominent focus on this area here. But potentially you could see these deeper extensions up here. It is possible. I don't know. That's ETHE. What is it? That just depends really on how Ethereum does, right? That's really, in my opinion, what it depends on. Let's see. Let me do these numbers real quick. Yeah. It could. If the premium gets crazy with this thing, it could. But I think focusing on really maybe 372 to 89 being the main area of attention. I'm just labeling this as a potential because the 2272 is an area that we've seen in crypto pop up a lot. It could happen, but don't count on that. I wouldn't bet money that that's going to happen. I would bet money that $90 would happen. I'd bet money 124 is going to happen. 199 and past, I'm not as certain of, but they are on the table. They are possibilities. Okay, ETCG. I'm kind of focused on that because I didn't want to get too moon boyish, give anyone FOMO, feel like they found the golden goose, you know. And maybe it is. Maybe I'm being too conservative, but I'd rather be conservative and be surprised. Minimum targets here are, you know, from the current price, a 20.7x to a 69. That's a 70.2x actually. 250 to 840. That's your price targets. And again, with these Grayscale trusts, the 1618 seems to be a little bit out of reach for a lot of these, so maybe focus on that 1414 to the 1272, but with the exception of the possibility of going here. I don't know about higher than that, though. Next one is BCHG. Same old, top to bottom here. Probably 250 to 527. I do think the possibility of going up to 1,500 is there. I very much do, mainly because these PP sales, BCHG is like out of all the offerings, it's got the closest difference to its NAV price, so it's probably got the least amount of interest, in my opinion, in these PP sales. But what do I know? I could be wrong. You know, it's got more liquidity than any of the other ones we've talked about so far. It's got more. This Grayscale Trust has the most liquidity, I think, besides maybe ETHE does have more volume. I don't know. But still, this is one of the top ones for the Grayscale Trust. So maybe that's, you know, that could be a reason why they put it in. Somebody said that liquidity does matter, but discounts matter too. But that, what I'm trying to say is the PP sales, the unlock date, creating some sell pressure, I think it'll have less of an impact on BCHG than I think it will on other Grayscale trusts with higher premiums. So I very much do think all of these price targets are still there. This would really only be possible if Bitcoin Cash goes to 20,000 or higher, in my opinion. But if it does, and it could go higher than 20,000, it could go higher than 30,000, it really could. But I'm looking more at that like $13,000 to $23,000 area. That's the low, that's the high. That doesn't mean I expect either. I more expect something in between, but I kind of do, man. I kind of do expect prices for BCH will be at 20K. So this is not off the table, but again, just like the other ones, more of a focus here, 250 to 527. That's my opinion for BCHG. Would I bet money that we see 257 or 250 to 527, somewhere in that range? I would. Would I bet money that we see between here and here? I wouldn't bet money on there, but I wouldn't bet money that we don't either. You know what I mean? I'm just not as certain. LTCN, very much a similar explanation with this one. Even though, yes, there's probably more interest in this one than BCHG for the PP sales. Thus, potentially bringing in more selling pressure whenever these things get unlocked. Yes, maybe. I don't think you're going to see your 1618. I very much don't. But I do think that anything and everything around here is possible. If LTC sees prices all the way up at 2,500, which it could, this thing could see prices that are up here as well, man. Because and here's the deal too is that, let's see, LTC. Let's go to LTC real quick. And you can do this with BCH. I'm not going to go do it right now. I don't want to add more time to this video, but you can look right here at the previous cycle. We topped off in May 1st. Okay, that's when we topped off. Here by May 1st we were here. We already had a lower high, okay? But we hadn't gone lower, all right? Let's see here. What was the I don't know what the premium would have been for that. I don't know what the premium would have been for that. I know that Litecoin went to like just below 420 for its high, where this went to about 450, right? 458 is where it went to. So very much a similar price, right? Here you had your private sales, however long they were locked up, your initial round of investing, and then it finally gets unlocked. You see your sell-off first month, second month, you're kind of consolidating more, and then boom, you went up higher. Who knows if in August to September, when these private sales come out and they're unlocked and you can sell them, who knows if we see a sell-off or not. I bet we do, but we probably recover, you know, wherever we are during that time. I'm just drawing lines here, but we probably do recover just as we did last time. And wherever Litecoin is by the end of the cycle, this might not be at a premium to that, but maybe it's at the NAV price for it. Maybe it's at even a slight discount. If Litecoin's at $2,500 and this thing is at a 50% discount, well then prices at $1,000 are very much on the table still, right? And $1,000 wouldn't be the 1272, but that's assuming like the worst in my opinion. So assuming like a 50% discount on this thing when Litecoin's at 2,500, where what we've seen before is that it was basically at the same price, and I don't know what the premium would have been for that. There's probably a premium on that still, right? But I don't know what the ratios were back then. But I would assume that if Litecoin saw a price of $2,500, we'd probably be here, if not higher. And if we top out before coming round circle, if we top out before we see the underlying asset top out, maybe Litecoin is at $500, and then LTCN is at a 4x premium, which is pretty mild for what this thing saw in the last cycle, right? A 4x premium from $500. Whatever the NAV price would be at that point, like that would probably take us above these highs, right? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I honestly don't know. What would that? Let's see. Could we do the math on that right now? Man, I really don't. I don't really care to. I'm trying to be conservative here, man. Let's try real quick. Okay, we'll do it. We'll do it. Gotten too far to quit now. White screen of burning retinas. All right, so not that this is exactly how it's going to work, but maybe kind of. So the NAV price is at $6.05 per share. Got some rats in the kitchen. Damn rodents making all the noises, eating all the cheeses. Let's see. If Litecoin were to move to 2,500, right? Or let's say something above these highs, but not quite to where its target would be. Let's just say a $600 price, something like that. Yeah. So that's 763%. I would assume then that this would grow 763% as well, right? That's what that would do, right? Which would be an 8.6x. 6 times 8 is 48. Let's call it 50, round up, right? Because there's that little left over anyways. So $50. So a 4x premium would actually only put this at a $200 price. Okay, so that'd be a lot smaller. But again, I feel like that's still pretty conservative, man, because we saw these things at what, like a 20x, 18x premium. I mean, it's possible. It is possible that this thing doesn't see new all-time highs, but that would kind of surprise me, man. Or not LTC, LTCN. And still, $200 from this current price. I mean, that's still a 16x, right? You can't really be too upset with that. But comparing a 16x from the current price to like a 19x or a 41x, you know, it's a little bit more despairing, sure. Did I do that right? Yeah, that's a 16x. I don't know. A lot of hypotheticals there at the end, man. I feel like I'm done. If you like the video, hit that like button. I'm just trying to say, even at its like worst potential outcomes, I still think LTCN will do well. And I personally don't think that we're going to stop at this 886. I do think we're going to see higher prices, but I feel like I did a very bad job of explaining that at the end there. So if I lost anybody, I'm sorry. Don't worry, I kind of lost myself. So with that, I leave you. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for coming. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.